Hello, welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. As you can see, I have two guests, and I have the great pleasure to have my two very good friends, Jeannie from Australia, Tony from London. Hi, guys. How are
Hey
you
Alex,
doing?
hey Jeannie.
Hi, Alex.
Hey,
Hey, Tony.
how you doing? Oh, good.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Yep.
Ticking over.
Yep. Soldiering on.
So we have another great subject today, again suggested by Jeannie. If I remember correctly, we're going to say like this: why do people do stupid things?
No, not dangerous.
Dangerous. Sorry
Oh.
about that.
Dangerous
Why-
things. Yeah.
why do
Well,
people
it
do-
could be stupid. but
Okay. Why
Yeah.
do people
Yeah.
do dangerous things? Okay.
Hmm.
Jeannie, you want to
That sounds
start?
good.
Tony, you guys decide.
Yeah, sure. Yep. Yeah, I'll start since I
Great.
picked it. Yeah, on my YouTube feed, this video came across called Caving, I think it is, and it's where people literally go into unknown, well, caves, let's say, and try to explore. And even if there's like quite a few came across, and assuming they're true, right? Even if there's signs saying this cave is very dangerous, you may not come out, people apparently still go in there. And you can imagine, like, they're going into really thin cracks and everything, and they don't know if they disturb something, which, sometimes happens.
Yeah.
And, there can be water, and if they get stuck, some of them drown, some of them die of lack of oxygen, And there's two schools of thought on this. Number one, it's like, well, I'm a sovereign being. I should be free to do whatever I want. Fair enough, I guess. But then if you have family and kids back at home and you're doing, especially this, like, there's skydiving and all those other things that people do, but this seems to be particularly fraught, and it's like, well, do we have a responsibility to keep ourselves as safe as we can for our family, and look, I do believe when your time is up, it's up. You can slip over in the bathtub, right? So that's another thing. But I think, well, why raise the odds that much, and for me, like, the claustrophobia aspect, I could not do it for a second. But I think mainly it's the question of how people obviously need adrenaline rushes. I mean, and without adventure, we wouldn't have discovered, so much of the world, right? But I think sometimes you put yourself in situations that are so dangerous. It's like, is it stupid? That's a good point, Tony. Is it actually stupid, or unfair to people you leave behind? And the rescuers, of course, because a lot of these people obviously go in without the right support for it. So that's what got me thinking about. And there's a young girl who, I think she was Aussie, who sailed around the world. She obviously had support. She wasn't totally alone, but just people who. But this really caught my attention because it just seemed, why would you do that? Just why?
Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
Yeah. I'll take up from there, Alex.
Yes. Please.
Yeah. I think always come at it from the why. Why do people do what they do? What makes people tick? That's what I love about life and people and myself. Because when I learn about people, I learn about myself. And excuse me. Yeah, why do they do it? I would say for many reasons, but in a nutshell, ego. Well, ego is one of them, meaning they want to seem superior. Like, oh, I saved the world on my own. I'm special. They want to be special and do something that no one else has done. That rarity factor, doing something that's never been done before. So, or not many people do. Even jumping out of a plane, you could think, well, a lot of people have done it, but not as many, not percentage wise. So it's ego that I've done something rare, and that appeals to the ego. It builds up the ego, the fake sense of self, the mental sense of self, into a special being. A special achiever. So it's hierarchically above other people. So ego is one of the causes, but also this sounds desperation wise. Sounds a bit tragic, but people also do it to feel alive because they're not alive in their day-to-day living. They don't know how to be alive in their day-to-day life. So they look for adrenaline rushes or a change of consciousness, change of scenery, change of to spark them awake, something that brings them alive. And these activities remind them that life isn't just 9 to 5, drudgery and whatnot. So it's like in the film Point Break. Kevin, what's his name? Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze.
They was that's it. They was surfers. Well, they was the surfers and FBI. So Keanu Reeves was the cop, and Patrick Swayze ran a team of bank robbers who wore masks. And Swayze said to Keanu Reeves at one point in the film, they jumped out of a plane, I think it was, and he said to the guy when he landed, he says, "Ain't it great?" No, sorry, it was surfing. He was surfing. He said, "Isn't it great? It takes you away from yourself," sort of thing. He said, "It's that point where you lose yourself and find yourself." And he said, "It's spiritual." So when you're on the edge of death, when you're on the edge of life and death, you lose yourself, but you find yourself. That's how he put it. So, yeah, one reason is they do it for their status, the ego, and another thing is just to feel alive, to experience life on the edge. So that's my little 2 pence. Yeah, I think that's really why people do a lot of things dangerous and stupid. So yeah, mate.
Yes, it's a great subject, and I do agree that the ego has a play here, and it's this concept that we are pushed into feeling these thrills, these emotions that makes us feel alive. And for some, they are addicted to it. I think it can become an addiction. And I mentioned when we were sharing this on the chat, this fellow, I don't remember the name, I think you know it, Tony, that he will, out there in the Discovery Channel, he will be with poisonous snakes and spiders in his face, and they were spiders. If they bite you, they kill you almost instantly. I think there's also a frog. Yes, I think that's the one. And he died because jellyfish.
Steve, the crocodile. Yeah, Steve.
Jellyfish
Sting
him in the heart.
Stingray.
Stingray. Yes, a stingray. Yeah, not a jellyfish. A stingray. If the stingray would have sting him in a leg or something, he probably survived. But it was directly to the heart, so it was just too much to take the poison.
Yeah.
I know he was very loved, he was very cherished, but for me to have a poisonous spider in my face and there's something else going on. There's something else going on. A need of attention, a need of showing how, because that is also confused that you're very, that you have all this veil in you, you're so valiant because, you have poisonous snakes around you, stuff like that. For me, there's something else going on. I can share my own story of dangerous things. In 2012, I always love to see, I consider myself a decent swimmer, not. And we went to this open sea resort here in Mexico. Open sea, it was not, it's open sea. It was not permitted to go into the sea by the hotel. But the lifesaver there said, if you're a good swimmer, I will tell you, I will look for you out there in the pool or in the restaurant. When there's a moment, you can go in for a little while. He was trying to maybe look for a tip or something like that, and he was trying just to be nice. And so days go by, and then he looks for me one day. I had been in the sun all day. I had been drinking. I had been, I was the end of the day. It was like 6 p.m. So, all day out there. So he looks for me and says, "Hey, now's a good moment just to go in for a little while." And I go in with another person that basically, I think, saved my life. A person from California in the United States. So we go in. It's very deep immediately there. It goes almost to like 300 feet very quickly. So you could tell you were in the very deep waters. We were fine as long as when we we went past the waves. We were fine. We were floating, and the guy said, "Do you know how to go back?" "I'm a surfer," he said, "and you cannot go back straight. You're not gonna make it. You have to go
Oh.
diagonal. You have to rest. It's gonna be a mess. Do you know how to go back? Because I can tell maybe you don't." And I'm going back right now. I had enough, and I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, but I said I'm fine. I mean, the shore looked. I was probably 200 feet or something from the shore, was 300 feet. So it looked very immediate. And I said, yeah, go ahead. So I started going back after and then after trying like for minutes, he was right. I was not getting anywhere. I was being pushed back into the sea. So I shouted to him, "Hey, I need help." And he was closer to the shore. So he signaled the lifesaver, which threw some buoy or something into the sea, but it didn't get to me. The lifesaver didn't go to get me. The other guy didn't go to get me. And I felt very heavy. The legs felt very heavy from the effort. And I said, this is it. I made a very stupid thing. I think I'm going to die here. My sons were 7 and 4. My wife, I felt all that. It was the closest thing to a near-death experience because I didn't see the tunnel or anything like that, but I felt all of this, that from a stupid mistake, I was leaving my wife alone with 2 young kids. So I said, no, I need to go back. So I started, I really gave it my all. And then suddenly with my feet, I could feel a little grain of sand, okay, that I was close to that ridge because it got very deep, but there was like a ridge. So there I was able to crawl back and I vomited seawater and the lifesaver came very quickly saying, "Please don't say anything. They're going to fire me." And the other guy, I didn't see him there, but then at night we went to the hotel's restaurant and he reached out to the table and he said, "Hey, you're fine?" "Yes, I'm fine." "I didn't go for you because if I went there, we would probably have drowned, both of us, because in your desperation, you were not going to think and you were just going to grab me or something, So that's why I try to help you in a different way, just to let you know that I didn't let you to die. It's the right thing to do in the sense, if I go there, even if I'm a good swimmer, we're probably both going to die. So for me, changed my life in a way, that event, that you're totally right, Jeannie. If you're going to do something like that, just be sure you don't leave anything behind, because if someone is depending on you, that's just not right. I felt so wrong on doing that. And I think you don't have, it's not allowed to do something. I don't know the conditions of this person from the Discovery Channel, if he was married, he had children, anything like that. But when people are depending on you, when people care for you, when we have this life together, take care of yourself. Don't do dangerous things, because I didn't do it for the thrill, honestly. It was not the thrill. It was not, I'm going to die or anything. No, it's just, I loved going to the sea. I didn't for 1 second thought it was dangerous. I knew it was dangerous when I couldn't go back. And I started feeling really heavy. And I said, I'm probably going to die here for doing such a stupid thing of going into the sea, which is nice, but non-important in the grand scheme of things. So I don't know what you guys think about that. That's my story on doing stupid things and doing dangerous things.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you stupid.
No.
You were
it was
drunk, Alec? Did you say you were drunk?
No, I was not drunk. I had been drinking.
Oh, okay.
I was not drunk.
You weren't drunk. Okay. Because I was going to say, obviously, alcohol impairs our.
No. But I had been drinking.
thinking.
I was not on my. But I was not drunk, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess in that circumstance, you felt confident you could handle it. I have great respect for the sea. Recently, there's been a couple of shark attacks in Australia, right? And one of them was a young woman who was a surf lifesaver, but she went out late afternoon, and it's like, you just don't do that by yourself, It's I just think it's their territory. You're taking a risk, But as far as Steve Irwin, he had a wife and 2 kids, and the kids have taken on his animal passion, right? He was a big controversy some years ago for holding his little baby out in front of this huge crocodile. Oh, didn't that cause a stir? You know, how could he do? I mean, I have no doubt that he had a great grip on that baby, right? But it was like, why would you even do that? So, and he was very flamboyant and out there, right? So he was. Some people loved him. A lot of people loved him. Some thought he was a bit of a wanker, right? But it's like when you, I mean, and this is why I say I think when we're meant to go, we go, because he could have probably died heaps of times, but didn't. But that stingray got him. But it's like, well, just observe them from afar. Don't upset their environment, because these animals obviously can be deadly. So why tempt that fate? You know, I'm not sure. He probably did have an ego. Like, he wanted to be entertaining, I think, you know. I wouldn't say, well, I don't know. I didn't know him personally, but maybe part of it was ego. I'm not too sure, you know. But he was confident around animals, you know. But this cave business, I don't know. These people are obviously amateurs. They like, it's just putting the level of danger to the nth degree, in my view, you know. And people must know people have died, and they still go for it, you know. That's what I don't quite get. But I think it's even more dangerous than skydiving, for instance, from what I'm seeing, you know. And I mean, personally, I don't really like dangerous things, even like roller coaster rides, and that's like, no thanks, no thanks. I'll just do my jigsaw. I'm fine. But people, as you guys have said, they need that adrenaline rush. They need, maybe they can't, and it's why people take the drugs and that. They need escaping from their boring life, as they might see it. But it's, I don't know. It's, once again, where does the right to be a free being and do what you want, compared to don't risk your life because you've got this family. Yeah, it's still a tough one. I think some people's bravery outdoes their sense of sensibility, you know. And even people who climb mountains, like, how many have perished doing that? It's just not something I aspire to, you know. All these dangerous things, it's not my cup of tea. I'd rather have a cup of tea, which might make me sound boring, but I don't really care, you know.
I think people's just. Do you think this is projecting of yourself, Jeannie? Do you think you're projecting your fear onto other people, and that's why you don't like watching it? Yeah, like you don't like watching dangerous things, so it upsets you. Is that it?
Well, I guess it is upsetting hearing about people dying under horrible conditions, right? Projection.
Depends.
That's an interesting question. I'm not sure if it's projection. I think it just comes back to why would you risk your life? Like, what really are you going to find? What really are you going to find under there? You know, in the big scheme of things, really, you know.
Yeah. Because I see it as people, like, they have free will. And me, when I was growing up in East End of London, we was all poor, we had nothing. So we climbing walls, climbing barbed wire fences, and doing stupid things. Our culture, the mates I had growing up, was a culture of, if you fell off a wall and landed on your head or broke your leg, the rest of them wouldn't pick you up straight away. They'd be laughing. There'd be tears of laughter coming down their face. And then when they finished laughing, then they'd go, "Oh, you're okay," because it was that sort of mentality. It was like, well, if you were stupid enough to fall off the wall, that's your fault. And I'm not saying it's a good thing, but there's a thing called the Darwin Awards where they have, it's like people that kill themselves in dangerous and stupid situations. They get posthumous Darwin Award, where after their death they're given this award that says you are no longer in the gene pool basically good riddance. You was too stupid to live, and
Yeah.
that's basically the Darwin Award. And
Yeah.
sometimes you've got to look at some people and think, well, either your ego was too big, or you was just too reckless and stupid. There's no other. Nature doesn't care. Nature don't care whether you're smart, stupid, or indifferent. Just respect it. Disrespect life. Otherwise, you've checked yourself out. You've basically you're too stupid to exist, and that's a harsh thing to say. But in a way, nature don't care. If you want to run in front of a lion and taunt it, that's your. I think the clock's ticking for you, mate. You're on your way out. You ain't got long to go. So maybe it's nature's way of weeding out the dumb ones, the people that are just not really fit for a living, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, mate. What do you reckon of that? People are just not in the gene pool. They've run out of good genes, and they just end up kicking themselves off.
Yes, I think it's a mixture. I think sometimes the ego is in play. I think I've shared with you guys, or at least on one of my shows, that here it has happened a few times now. We are in a city surrounded by mountains. They're not extremely high, but they're good for trekking. They have some valleys, they have some canyons. And there was this thing going on that people that love trekking, that love climbing mountains, had to take these pictures, social media picture, guys. I mean, straight to Instagram, straight to Facebook, straight to TikTok or whatever. Hanging from a tree out there in a canyon, and a few, the branch broke or they misstepped or something happened, they fell to the canyon to their death. Okay, a few, and there was not only males. I mean, it was males, females, a lot of them married with children. And so it created quite a controversy because it created the exact question you're asking, Ginny. I mean, you were a mother with small children with that. Yeah, sure. You love trekking, you love mountains, but why the picture? Why the need of the picture hanging by a tree to a canyon? Why that? And why straight to social media? I mean, if you take it for you, for your family is one thing, but you take it to social media, that's an immediate, maybe even viral, lot of likes, that's the ego. Okay. I cannot say it in another way. That's the ego. Okay. If you take something for the likes, for the views, that's the ego. Okay. And so you die for the ego. Okay. And that I don't know. I know what I did sounds like that. No, I just enjoy the sea. Okay. And I accepted. I did a very stupid thing. And I did a very dangerous thing. But if I had died there, probably the judgment would have been, hey, he was very stupid to do that. All day out there in the sun, drinking and that. He was not prepared. He was not a good swimmer. All of those things. But it was not for the ego. I didn't take any pictures or anything like that. I didn't share it with anyone. It was for me, which in a way I can respect a little bit more, okay? If I go and climb the Everest for me, because I want to climb the Everest, I don't care if someone sees it. I don't care if it's published somewhere. I want to climb it for me. Maybe that I can understand. But for the ego, for the recognition, for the applause, for the social media, for the acceptance of the out there saying, wow, you're so great. Wow, what an amazing picture. Wow, you're so brave because you're hanging by a branch of a tree that can break anytime and it could take you to your death. That I cannot appreciate. That I cannot applaud. Okay. But for example, 500 years ago, that will grab a boat and say, let me find new land. Maybe I'm gonna die, but let me find new land. I don't know. Maybe there's something there. Okay, maybe that I can understand a little bit. What do you guys?
Yeah. I mean, social media is, a shit show. Let's face it. But it's very different to taking a picture of what you had for dinner and splashing it out there, compared to what you were talking about. Exactly. But it's probably, I don't know if that's ego. I don't know, maybe, but it's very different, And look, sometimes our judgment, maybe in your case, Alex, gets a bit skewed. Like, obviously, as I said, you thought you could handle it, right? The young girl, I think she was only about 19, who got taken by the shark, the surf lifesaver. I don't know. It's a bit like she was probably a good swimmer, but late afternoon in Australia, you just don't do that. I don't know. I have a very strong respect for the sea, and I'm paranoid of sharks, so I don't even really go into the ocean anymore. It's just
Was it
it's
Bondi Beach, Jeannie?
no. I think there was
No.
in WA, Western Australia. I
Okay,
think
because
I think there was two. Yeah, she may have been Bondi. I can't quite remember,
okay.
but it's just it's a risk. It's
Yes, it is.
definitely a
Mhm.
risk, you know. And if she came back all right, no one would have said anything, right?
Mm.
And once again, it was her time. You know, I do truly believe that. What was I going to say?
Because the only place I've
but-
been in Australia is Sydney, and
Oh, yeah, okay.
we went there with my wife for 1 week, and we went to Bondi, and
Mhm.
because I love the sea and I love to go into the
Yeah,
sea
yeah.
whenever I had the chance,
Yeah.
and it's very inviting. It feels
Mm.
so safe, and I knew they said there were sharks and everything. It was
Mm.
full, by the way. The way we went there was a beautiful day. I think it was a weekend, so it was full of people, and it felt very safe. Nothing that like the one I'm saying. The one I'm saying, there were high waves, and you will immediately go into open sea. You actually have to go beyond the waves, and you will be floating out there in very deep sea. So it was a whole different dynamic. Bondi feels, I don't know, something about it feels very safe. It's shallow at the beginning and that, so it's.
Mm.
I'm not justifying. I'm saying maybe she felt comfortable if it was Bondi. Yeah.
Yeah. I could never like do what you did. Like when I was many years younger, I went out and I was swimming and got what do you say, smashed by a big wave, and I was losing my breath, and I was scared. Man, I was
Mm.
scared. I survived, obviously, but I've never really gone out above knee deep again. And it's like, you know, friends would say, "Oh, you wuss, come on." No, no, thanks. That was enough for me. That was enough, you know. I'm prepared to be a wuss because I'm still here, you know. And I can, I mean, I can understand the need to have excitement in life, you know. I really do. It depends how you achieve that. See, I'm easily pleased. I can do a jigsaw for a couple of hours and be quite content, you know. But
They're quite dangerous, though. They're quite dangerous. If you get the
well,
corner
if
piece
you
in
swallow,
your
if you
eye.
swallow, yeah, if you swallow a piece, yeah. But I've just never been one to. I've never had the desire to climb a mountain or anything extreme, really. You know, jumping out of a plane. I don't know. I keep coming back to these bloody caves. I think jumping out of a plane is probably safer than these caves. Like it just, and how people can go in these small spaces. It just freaks me out. You know.
Yeah.
I
think it's like what motivates someone, isn't it? That's the root of it all.
Well,
What is the
that's
root of
right.
it?
I'm not. They're obviously very adventurous, and on the surface of it, there's nothing. It doesn't sound like there's anything wrong with that, but it depends. It depends on what the adventure is, I guess. You know.
Mm.
Um.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing straight away. I'm like looking at it as if you got the dangerous side. It's free will. You got free will.
Yeah.
Who shouldn't be able to express their free will in whatever way they want?
Mm.
Adventurous, and then you've also got the opposite side of the coin, where you mustn't go over there and there's a fence with a sign, no entry, or wear armbands if you're going into the swimming pool, or
Yeah.
there's all these precautions, and society puts out these little. Well, they over pamper us. They protect us too much, and I think the system we've got now, the world we're living in now, the youngsters have got too many restrictive. Like a friend of mine's nephew, he went to university, and they wouldn't let him have a kettle in his lodgings in his little room because they feared he might set fire to something or cause that or burn himself.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
what extreme do you go to? That's one extreme of the pendulum, and then you've got the other extreme. So I think it's up to the individual, personally, to find their own level. And society wants to control us, I think, too much. And that's where I'm looking at it. Is this? You've got both sides, haven't you? The extremes and the I'm not going outside because it's too dangerous. Oh, it's
Yeah.
raining. Or it's
Yeah.
sunny.
Yeah.
I
That's
might get
right. Yeah.
burnt. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
just live your life. Live your
yeah,
life.
yeah. Well,
So yeah,
this teacher in America, she said some of the parents don't want their kids doing sport because they don't want them to overexert themselves.
yeah. Oh.
Like, please, yeah,
Crazy.
you're right, Tony. It goes from one extreme to the other. It's like, oh, let's bubble wrap them. Yeah, like,
So what is
yeah.
right? What is the right
Mm,
point on the line?
mm.
So yeah, I think we shouldn't have any restrictions. If you want to go and swim with the sharks, swim with the sharks. If you want to stay
Well,
indoors all day, stay indoors all
what
day.
so what responsibility do we have to and I'm not talking so much siblings and parents, I guess, but a family. And once again, Alex, I'm not picking on you at all.
No, no.
But to do something like that, that's obviously really dangerous. What responsibility
Yeah.
do we
Oh
have?
yeah.
If my partner did that and died, I'd be really
Yeah.
angry. I'd be,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
was,
You got.
I was very lucky because honestly, it was
yeah, yeah.
it was a very stupid thing.
But
It
if there were
just
sharks out there, you wouldn't have gone, hey, if you knew.
sharks are not. I don't see sharks as what can I
Really?
say? No,
Oh,
no.
you,
You have to
you're
bother
braver than
them,
me.
and I mean, I've scuba
Oh,
dived and seen sharks, and they are kind of their own thing. I mean, if you don't bother them or they don't smell blood, that turns them on a
Yeah.
lot because they think you're hurt them. You see, they are
Yeah.
instinctive, so they don't see you as a human or as a fish or anything. They think you're hurt, you're dying. Hey, well, maybe I'll eat you. I know it sounds like that, but as long as there's
yeah.
you're not obviously hurt, for example, then it's very dangerous. If you are
Yeah.
you're bleeding
Well,
in the water, for example, let's say there was
yeah.
a problem with the boat and you're out there in the sea and you're hurt, you're caught or something, that's very dangerous. You're probably gonna get the attentions of the shark again because they think you're hurt. They think instinctively this is a being, this is something living that is dying. So why shouldn't I eat it? Okay. But it's amazing. You scuba dive and they kind of respect you. You get close to them and that. And
Oh, no.
I know they're very scary, but I think there's a lot of from the movie Jaws and that. And by the way, that was like impossible. That was a huge shark. I don't even know if they exist.
Oh, yeah,
that
of
big,
course.
but,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's open sea, so they're probably smaller sharks and that. I mean, but it never felt like jumping from a plane or anything like that. Okay, which
No.
by the way is very safe, Chile. There's all sort of backups, and if you're not expert, someone will jump with you and stuff like that. So that is not extreme danger. I think trekking in a mountain, you're not prepared. If you are not an expert and you're hanging out there from trees and that, you're really risking your life because
that
one
is stupid.
misstep, and you go all the way down and you die. You hit
Yeah,
a rock and you
yeah.
die. So I felt that I know it that I should be more careful. And I mean, other similar situations is driving out there. For example, I think I mentioned it a few times on my shows. Driving out there at night, it's raining. You're in a highway. You want to get home. You're tired. I felt all of those things. Okay.
Yeah.
And for example, stopping takes a lot. Stopping to rest. Stopping maybe to a hotel. Remember one time we wanted to get. My sister used to live, right? Not anymore. One of my sisters used to live in El Paso, Texas. So we were going all the way to Texas, and we were trying to get there before night, but somehow it was already night, and we were like 3-4 hours away. And let's stop. Let's get a hotel. We finish up tomorrow because sometimes you get obsessed. I need to do it, and that's also a dangerous, stupid thing. And you're out there, middle of the night. You're already tired, and it just takes an animal crossing in front of you, a car or something getting something and an accident happens. So sometimes accidents, they're not accidents. They are the product of several poor decisions. And for the people, for example, that they're trying to get home, it's already middle of the night, just stop there. And, even if you don't get to a hotel, just stop and rest for a little bit. And whenever it gets light, start driving again, you are much better off.
Mm.
I remember one time it was snowing. It was snowing, and I didn't have snow tires because we don't have snow tires here. And it started snowing because we went to El Paso several times, particularly in Christmas. So it was December, Texas. You will get some snow in high, like mountain type, that the road will get very high. And it was snowing, and I will feel the car not. And I remember reducing the speed and that, but that's the moments you are in that precipice between is this dangerous, is this stupid, you should stop. So I think we most of us go to stop like that. Okay, sometimes when you're traveling and you go to a dangerous country, I don't know, you go to Africa, and I have friends doing that, and they suddenly are in places that, my God, this is really dangerous. People are looking at us. Those kind of things. Okay? Think about it. And some people say the idea that you're going to be fine just because you're going to be fine, then you also need to set up yourself to be fine. You cannot keep doing dangerous things and expect always kind of get lucky and be fine, because some people think like that, like, hey, God protects me, I'm fine, I should do whatever I want, what you were kind of saying, Jeannie. Yes, but then something's going to happen to you, and it was kind of expected because you were setting yourself up. For example, in me, after that situation, I kept going into this open sea. One day I was going to drown, for sure. And it was on me, for sure.
Yeah, I just lost my thought then. Recently when we had that cyclone that hit, this fellow, he was in a 4-wheel drive, and if it's flooded, forget it, but he crossed this bridge with the water coming over only a mile from home, and he got washed away
into the sea or something, or
the river.
the river.
The river took him down. Yeah. And it's like a split second decision, it can happen that quickly, obviously. And this is, I mean, these cave people keep coming back to the caves. They've obviously thought about it, and they want to do it, right? But yeah, it only takes 1 second, and God knows, there've been heaps of times where I've put myself in situations where I may not be here. I've done, not from extreme sports or whatever, but put myself in situations where I think we all do it, especially when we're younger and a little bit unwiser. But but that fellow, you could say he should still be here, but he's not. So
maybe his intuition wasn't there. Intuition, could it be?
Well,
play a part.
I think it's just, maybe as Alex just alluded to, I won't happen to me, I'll be right. That sort of feeling, because God knows I've done that before too.
I'll do that. Yeah, I've done
and
that
it's like, it's like when people say, "Oh, why has this happened to me?" Well, why not? Why are you so different to someone else?
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. It's like that. Nah, I'll be right, mate. I'll be right.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're not. Yeah.
I think also, yeah. Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
No, I can't think what I was going to say now. It's just intuition, isn't it? You don't know what's going to happen next. That's really it, really.
I think
life.
Yes, I think this guy in was a 4-wheel drive or something like that. You said.
Yeah. Pretty sure. Yeah.
I think sometimes it's like that, driving at night and you're tired, and it's okay. I just need to cross this bridge, and I'm gonna 1 mile from home, so I'm gonna be home, and that's it. So I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying he took the right decision. I'm just saying I can understand that when you are in that split moment decision.
Oh, me too. Yeah, me too.
You make a decision, and it was a wrong one. And I was honestly very close to dying that time, and it was a split decision. Tony's totally right. My intuition was probably telling me, no. You have been here all day, you're tired, because all day out there in the sun, I was probably all red, and the energy is not there. So it was, no, it's not worth it. But I said, shut up. I wanna go into the sea just for a second.
And that's the mind. That's the
Yes,
mind.
That's
yes,
it.
yes,
That's
yes,
it.
I agree. That totally agree. I mean, that's the mind blocking that, and with this guy, it was probably the mind as well. Probably the intuition was saying, "Hey,
Yep.
this looks dangerous. Stop here. Go back.
Mm,
You can wait for a little bit because sometimes these flood rains. It has happened here as well. I don't know if I think I shared with you guys that we had a huge drought. It didn't rain for a year. We were getting short on water. They were taking the water off and stuff like that. Suddenly this year we got, I think it was, no, sorry, last year, it was in April that we got 3 days. It was the water of a year. So
Wow.
I live very close to the office, and one day I couldn't come to the office, but I got to a point in a street that it was like a T. Okay, it was this, and there was a street crossing like this, and it was like a river. Okay, and I thought for a second maybe I can make it. Maybe it doesn't look so deep, and then immediately no, go back, go back.
Yeah.
So that's the thinking. Maybe I can make it. Maybe, and you just put the nose of the car in, and suddenly it takes you away. And people died that time. People died thinking like that, going into water that doesn't seem so deep, and suddenly they're in and they're done. Okay.
So it's like you're thinking ahead, isn't it? I need to be there. I need to be there now.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not in the present. You're not here. You're in the future. So the mind tells you, yeah, just do it, and you'll get there. You'll get there. So you're like already in the future. That's the problem. If you was present, you'd be like, okay, forget my plans. What's happening? Water. No, I'm not doing it. Back up.
And I think
because the mind, we got agendas. We have agendas, don't we? I've got to do this. We've got to do that. Get there such and such time.
Yeah. And I think people overestimate the strength of four-wheel drives because they're big cars, obviously, and I think they underestimate the power of water. That's another thing I think. But yeah, you can't beat nature. You know, it's you have to respect it. Simple as that. Yeah.
But I don't know. Like my life isn't planned at all. I mean, I used to plan everything. I had a diary, I had a schedule, times this, do that, and stressed out of my head. All the jobs I've had have been high pressure and deadlines, this, that, and the other. I did it. I was good at it. What I did, but got colitis for it. I need bowel surgery. It caused me so much stress and illness. I had to quit the job, and I realised, stop rushing, stop running towards the future, stop stressing over whatever you're stressing over, because that's killing you. And it was. I was in an office, people smoking in the office as I was working, 8 in the morning till 5 at night, 6 days a week, most days on the computer, and I was breathing in the smoke. The boss was giving me 5-minute breaks, like 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes after, a half an hour lunch break. I'm like, this ain't good enough. And I still put up with it, and it made me ill. So I think that's the problem. You don't look at where you are because you're in your head planning the future. And people could be sticking knives in your back. And no, I'm just brushing your back with a brush. It's all right. Oh, okay. Because you're looking to the future. You're not interested in what's happening. And I dropped it all. I thought, I can't. It's killing me. And I started to live in the present. So I don't plan. I might have an idea. Oh, I might go fishing. I might go do this, do that, whatever. But I don't drive. I'm not driven like I was. I'm not, driven to achieve, driven to have a status symbol, driven to buy this car, this thing. I couldn't care less about them products. I really couldn't. So to me, the important thing is my health and being present and getting along with people as best I can. And that's priceless. You couldn't pay me enough for that. Just to be present and happy and content and not ill and laughing and being happy with people, helping people, satisfaction of being here for people. And maybe I'll do dangerous things, run across the road when the light's red, think, I'll just make it. And usually I'll do, but maybe one day I won't. But that's when my number comes up.
Yeah.
So I just
Well,
have to accept it. You know, when my number's up, it's up, and I'm not going to worry about it.
well, yeah. Well, once again, I think that's what we do. Like, I mean, people die in the most bizarre ways, right? And once again, it's like, you know, I should be able to do whatever I want. But if we have people depending on us,
Yeah,
maybe
that's different.
we need to rein that in.
Oh yeah,
You know,
it's just me. See, so
I don't know. Oh, look, I
it-
still probably do things where if I tripped, I'd get splattered. You know, I think we still all do things like that. But these extreme things, it's a bit like you're really pushing the envelope here, right? You know, and I'm thinking of retiring now. I'm looking at that, so that takes a bit of planning. I mean, we have to plan certain things, right?
yeah.
Because I'm overwork, I'm just tired, and so I'm sort of looking forward to that, but I have to
Some
plan it
bit of
properly.
bungee jumping,
No,
bit of
no, no.
skydiving.
Oh, no. Bungee jumping, no, thanks. See, I mean, it'd be good if we could get one of these cave people who have done it and survived and given their side of the story, you know.
Yeah,
They'd probably see me as a boring old fart, you know. So I don't know.
horses for
But
courses,
it just, yeah, it just intrigues me, like that in particular, like just the, claustrophobia aspect of that.
and that's probably it. That's what it is it?
First and foremost, it's like, no way. How can you
Yeah,
do that? Yeah.
yeah.
But people are weird. People are people.
True.
Mm,
Yeah, I just think people got the choice to do it or not, and it's up to them. And I think
mm,
freedom to do what you want, as long as you're not hurting no one else, or
yeah.
you're not dependent. People are not dependent on you. That's live your life as best you want.
Yeah.
And
Especially when freedom is, being squished more and
yeah,
more
exactly.
in this world. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, freedom
Yeah.
to do what you want with conditions. But yes,
Yeah.
people do crazy things. I've done enough.
Yeah, all of us could be gone.
Yeah,
Our time hasn't been up yet. So
yeah.
yeah.
But it would
It's
be life if it
interesting.
wasn't exciting at certain points. It would be this one
Oh
dull
yeah.
drudgery, wouldn't it? It'd be one dull plod along. It'd be
Yeah. You
wouldn't be
need
life.
you need the peaks
Yeah,
along with the troughs. Yeah,
to
for
appreciate the
sure.
troughs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You need the peaks to look forward to
Yeah.
make
Oh,
the
absolutely. Yeah.
troughs feel worthwhile.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
that's
yeah.
what I would believe it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, guys.
do it, mate.
Do you guys have anything closing you want to share, maybe?
I'll let Ginny finish off, but I think to me, just follow your intuition. Be present. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the simple things. Enjoy a cup of tea. Enjoy a chat. Enjoy a walk in the fresh air or the rain, whatever. Enjoy the simple things and find the value in life with just the basic things. Not I'm going to get a new car this week, or I'm going to do this next year, or a holiday, or find value in the simple things during the day, all day. That's my point. Yeah, I would just say. But great topic. Good stuff.
Yeah. I would say don't crawl into caves. No, I'd say enjoy nature as much as you can, but respect it. You have to respect it. Nature is bigger than us, I think. But still, who am I to judge? It's not so much judging. I guess it's just like, once again, why would you do that? But anyway, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. It's such a difficult subject because more than one person could say, well, if I want to go trekking, if I want to go to the sea, if I want to go skydiving, it's my life. That kind of stuff, right? Saying that, for example, the people that smoke 2 packs of cigarette a day and say,
Yeah.
hey, it's my life, and maybe I'm gonna die from something else. Or, it's. But you're also setting yourself up for stuff to happen, and then when it happens, it happens. Okay, so I think it's our life, but it's also responsibility here, especially because we live in a family social environment. And when you decide to take up a family, there's a responsibility there. Okay, it's just it's not me anymore. I have 2 kids. I have a wife. It's not me anymore. I cannot be out there thinking, going on a bike ride or something, saying, "Hey, nothing's gonna happen." There was also a story, but no point I go into it. It's not me directly. Someone I know, married, children, wife, and he liked going on bikes, okay, going on rides on bikes with other people that like that. And suddenly, something, a piece of slick of oil or something in the road. I don't know what happened. He has a horrible accent. He has been in operations and therapy and that for 4 years now. And he cannot still walk properly. Just imagine that struggle in his family to to deal with someone like that. Hasn't been able to work for 4 years. So for me, that's the thing. Someone will say, "Hey, what's an accident? That could have happened in the shower." Yes, but if you're out there doing that kind of stuff, in a way, just accept you could go anytime. And maybe it's even better saying, "Okay, I'm doing it. I'm risking my life. That's what I want to do. I like trekking. I like doing stuff. I like being close to snakes and spiders and that." Then maybe when it happens, your family are going to accept that that's the risks he decided to take. Okay. So I think for me, it's completely different. If you're alone, I'm not saying it's right, but at least you're only hurting yourself. Something happens, no one is depending on you, and yes, they're going to be sad and everything. But when you have dependents, it's another responsibility there that you must, and I accepted by making a mistake, that it was wrong for me to go to the sea. Because I could have died. I was lucky. That doesn't make it right. Because I was lucky, that doesn't make it a good decision. So for someone that is constantly risking his life in a bike, doing dangerous things, going trekking and looking into canyons and that, and you have dependents, you have people waiting for you at home, it's your life. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying doesn't seem right to me.
No. Me neither.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I could hit like a lightning bolt in a minute. So if I don't see you next time, you know what's happened.
And when you get up there in age, mate, when you get 60, 70, your heart can stop anytime. I mean, that some people say that, "Oh, I'm going to smoke, I'm going to do dangerous things because I could get a heart attack anytime." Yes and no. I mean, yes, but also I don't think you should be pushing the envelope. And sometimes you get lucky until your luck runs out.
Yeah.
And I think that was what happened to Steve Irwin, isn't it?
Yeah, Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Well, he was pushing.
Lucky.
He pushed it.
Yeah, he pushed
many
it,
times, I guess you could say. Yeah. And nature said, "I've had enough of this." I don't know, but yeah.
And there's another guy in America, the fitness bloke. There was in the 70s. This guy used to be running all the time. Always wore running kit. And Eddie Murphy did a little spoof of him in The Nutty Professor. The guy that did the little fitness bit. He was going, "Come on, work, sweat." He was doing a parody of this guy. Apparently, he was a famous keep fit fanatic. And never smoked, never drank, always running, exercising in the gym. And he died in this bizarre way. He was only young. He was like in his early 50s, I think. And he just killed over. Heart attack. It was like, of all the people, him. And there's many examples of that. People that do everything right, don't smoke, don't drink, don't do this, that, the other. And they die young. And it's like Alex said, if you smoke 100 a day, 40 a day, you might live to 100.
Yes.
So...
Well, too much exercise, believe it or not, is actually not good for us. It's not.
Right.
It's marathons. It's not what we really should be doing. So I've heard. So it seems like a great thing, but not so much. But
I agree with you, Jeannie. I have this discussion with people, and I agree completely. We are machines in a way you think about it. So it's like a car. You don't use it at all, there's gonna be problems. Okay, the engine is not gonna run well and that. You use it a lot at high speed, always revving the engine, boom, boom, boom. You're also pushing it. Okay, so it's the extremes there. I agree completely. These Ironmans and these kind of things. I know you guys know about Ironman. It's very popular here. A lot of people do it. and it's back to back to back. It's like that. It's 4 miles of swimming. Okay. No, sorry, 4 kilometers. 4 kilometers of swimming, which is a lot. 180 kilometers of biking, but it's back to back. You don't win the swimming, you get the bike. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't even get dried up or anything, or no. You immediately jump into the bike. 180 kilometers, and when you are done of those two things, a marathon, 42 kilometers.
Oh my goodness.
of
Yeah.
running.
No, we're not meant to do that. We're not.
People
No.
have died in the
Yeah.
marathon part. Died,
Yeah.
and they were prepared, and they have died
Yeah.
half the marathon because
Yeah.
it's just too much.
Yeah,
4
yeah.
kilometers swimming in a river, in a lake, it's not in a pool. And then 180 kilometers of biking. And then a marathon,
No,
42
no,
kilometers, 195 meters.
No,
Okay.
no.
And
Not a
some
good idea.
reach
No.
the goal line of the marathon passing out.
Yeah,
Passing
yeah.
out.
What's the point? What's the point in that?
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
They are
They
They get,
overdoing
they
it.
get a little medal. They get a trophy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Like an Oscar. Yeah. Okay.
A plastic one.
Yeah, yeah. No, no.
I think Tony got it right the first time. It has to go back to the ego. I mean, it's an ego thing. It's look at me. It's wow, I did an Ironman. It's you get to
Yeah.
be in the newspaper. Now with social media, just imagine 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos and pictures and likes and whatever. And
Yeah, exactly.
so I don't know. I even see it when sometimes I don't have any social media anymore. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Instagram. But I remember when I had it, you will see some people you know, and they will post a picture, and you will see the comments. Wow, you're so beautiful. Wow, you look stunning. Wow, it's the ego, the ego, the ego, the ego, the ego, the
Yeah.
ego, the ego,
Yeah,
the ego,
yeah.
the ego.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. We went for an hour, passed by
Okay.
like
Well,
5
quick again.
minutes as I shared on
Yeah.
my videos. I was explaining my channel changes. The great thing about chats is they fly by. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks,
Anything
Ginny.
else?
Thank you.
You guys want to share?
Cheers.
No?
No, that's it. I think.
No.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks,
it?
guys.
Perfect.
Great chat.
Said it all. Great stuff.
Thank
Take
you,
care,
everyone,
guys.
for watching. Until the next time, thank you again. Thanks, guys. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version of this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breakthroughs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice through violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.